good evening and welcome to Jadwiga's Fairy Tale Channel. I'm going to talk about a little story called The Princess with the Bearskin. And unfortunately, I don't know where this story comes from because I found it in my folder and it says nothing about its origin. And Mr. Google doesn't know it. But still, it's a beautiful little story. So, once upon a time, there was a beautiful little princess who lived in the palace of her father. And there she had everything a little girl could long for. But she was lonesome because her father would not allow her to leave the palace or the garden that was surrounded by a high wall because he was afraid something could happen to her. Or when she grew older, he was afraid she could leave, get married, and never return back home. So, and since there were no children and no people her age, she felt very lonesome. And oftentimes she heard people laughing and talking and singing behind that wall. And she longed so much to come out there and see them and talk to them, look at them, just enjoy life. One day her old wet nurse saw her and said, "Hey girl, what's the matter with you? I don't like how you're looking." Well, she said, "I feel imprisoned here. I cannot leave. I want to go out. I want to see the world outside of that palace." "Well," said the wet nurse, "go to your father, ask him." "He won't let me," she said. "He is afraid I could leave and never return back home." Said the wet nurse, "I see. So go to your father and ask him for 3 dresses. One like the moon, the other one like the sun, and the third one like the stars. But these dresses must be from a fabric so thin and light that they fit into a nutshell. And then ask him for a bearskin." But no word about that. And the princess asked her father for these 4 things. And the king is surprised and wonders, but the little princess keeps that secret. So the father gives her all those 4 things, and then she runs over to the wet nurse and says, "Now I have it. What are we going to do?" So they put the dresses into nutshells, and the wet nurse pulls over the bearskin over her, and it fits perfectly. She becomes a bear. And now the wet nurse says, "Well, you are a bear. You will leave that castle as a bear, but once you get afraid or you want to transmute into your human form again, just call me and I will be there and help you." And then she guides her to a hidden secret door in that wall around the palace garden and lets her out. And then she says, "Run, little girl, and take care. Good luck." And the princess, the bear, goes right away into the woods. And there she is happy because she can go wherever she wants. She eats berries and fruits and roots and whatever she can find and is really happy. And she strolls around and discovers the world. Now one day a hunting group is riding through that forest, and the dogs very soon have found her and surround her, and she's afraid of the dogs being around and barking at her when a rider comes, and of course this is the prince. And the prince sees that situation, the bear surrounded by the barking dogs, and the bear says, "Oh dear prince, please call back your dogs because they will eat me." The prince has seen bears who do tricks taught by humans, but he has never ever heard a bear talking with a human voice, with such a beautiful female human voice. So he calls back the dogs and says, well, if you want to come with me to my castle, just follow me. And that she does. She taps behind the horse of that prince. And in the castle, everybody is surprised because nobody has ever seen such a bear. And the even bigger surprise is they give her a broom and she cleans that room so not a tiny little piece of dust is left. She does that better than any servant in that castle. And when they give her a pot with water, she cleans the dishes. They are shiny as never before. But what she loves most is lying on the feet of the prince and just listening to what he's talking. Now one day he tells his mother there is a big ball going on in the castle for 3 days and he is going there and he wants to dance, and his mother says, oh yes, dance, 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 and look out for a wife because you're old enough, you should get married. And the bear, lying to his feet, says, oh dear prince, I would like to go to the ball too. Please take me with you. And he looks down to her and says, oh, you stupid bear, I won't dance with the bear. And he gives her a slap and says, go. Now, as soon as the prince has disappeared in the ballroom, our bear runs into her little chamber, throws up the bearskin, puts on the moon dress, and she's the most beautiful woman you have ever seen. And as she enters the ballroom, everybody is surprised. And the prince immediately comes towards her and for the rest of the night only dances with her. Now when the ball is over, he asks her, where do you come from? And she says, I come from Slap House. And then she's gone, disappeared. He cannot see where she went. The next day, the prince is wondering where Slap House is. He's looking at all the maps they have in that castle. He's looking through books, but cannot find it. And his mother doesn't know either. But he tells her, if this woman would be here, I would get married to her immediately. And the bear, to his feet, says, well, and if it was me? Oh, you stupid little bear, don't tell such nonsense, he says. Well, and that night, he again will go to the ball. And again, the bear says, oh, please take me with you. I want to go to the ball with you. And he gives a little smack and says, you stupid bear, I am dancing with the most beautiful woman, not with a bear. And he goes to the ball. And again, the bear throws off her bearskin, gets dressed in the sun dress, and is the most beautiful woman on that ball. And she's even more beautiful than the day before. And again, our prince only dances with her the whole night, and he is so in love and so happy. And when the ball is over, asks her, oh, my dear princess, where do you come from? And she says, I come from Smack Castle. You know already, he cannot find Smack Castle. That's on no map and in no book. And again, he tells his mother, oh, I would marry her immediately if she came back. And again, the bear asks, oh, and if it was me? Ah, you stupid girl. And that night, before he goes to the ball for the 3rd time, and he knows it's the last time, it's his last chance to see that beautiful woman, the bear again said, oh, please take me with you. I want to come with you to the ball. And again he says, I am waiting for the most beautiful woman in the world and not for a stupid bear like you. And he gives her a little kick. Now that night, she shows up in that star dress, more beautiful than ever, if that's even possible. And our prince is so in love and so happy. And before she leaves, he puts a ring upon her finger and again asks her, "Where do you come from?" And she says, "I come from Kick Palace." And off she goes. Now, next day, he cannot find Kick Palace, and nobody knows where Kick Palace might be. So he says, "If I only could find her, I would get married to her immediately. I love her." And the bear says, "Well, and if it's me?" And again, he laughs at her. And no, it's the most beautiful woman and not a stupid bear. But he becomes sick. He becomes so sick that after 3 days, people are afraid he is going to die because no medicine, no doctor, no cure, nothing can help him. He's just lying in bed, ready to pass away. And his mother is sitting by his bed, weeping, when the bear comes in and says, "I could help him." "Oh, you bear, come on, you're smart, but you cannot help him." "Well, just give me a try." "Well, there is no hope anyway, so try whatever you want to do." And she cooks a little soup and puts the ring into that bowl, and then brings it to the queen and says, "This is the medicine, but he has to eat it all, otherwise it won't help." So the queen hands that over to her son and says, "My dear son, this is a medicine that will help you. Please eat it." The prince does not want to eat a soup. He's ready to leave that world. But he wants to do a favor for his mother. So he takes a little spoonful and another one. And then he realizes there is something lying on the ground. So he eats more and then finds that ring. And he jumps out of bed and said, "Who brought that soup?" And the mother said, "It was the bear." Oh, and now he understands. He called the bear. The bear puts her pets on his shoulder and they embrace each other and they are so happy. So the bear skin falls off her and he sees this is his real, true, beloved wife. The wedding takes place, a huge party. I don't know, 3 days, a week, or even more. It's the most colorful and beautiful party you have ever seen. Yeah. What do we learn in that story? You cannot keep your children at home. You have to let them go. You cannot protect them lifelong in their nest and not making them able to make their own experiences, to get to know life, to get into adventures and to whatever experiences they have to make. So this is not possible. And the old wet nurse, she knows that. She knows that the girl has to go out. She has to leave her father's house. Now I was wondering, why a bear? Because the bear is the symbol for motherhood, for warmth, for compassion, for protection and safety. And she has just left protection and safety. And she has never, or at least for the last couple of years, we don't know when her mother passed away, but she has not experienced this mother love. Maybe the wet nurse was a substitute. So the prince does not realize that this motherly figure and this beautiful woman are the same, because he only sees the beautiful woman he wants to get married to. But of course they want to have children, and then she will be this motherly, or she will show this side of herself, of her motherly protective safety abilities, which are necessary when she wants to be a good mother to her children. And the prince is not able to see that. He is blind on this eye, at least at the beginning. Later he sees it. And funny enough, it's surprising that the queen, that wise woman, does not realize that either. Or maybe she just wants her son to find out by himself. Who knows? Okay, I wish you a very wonderful night, and if you like, give me a thumb. Thank you. Bye.